My Lords, I beg your pardon. There's a small number of amendments here in my name that relate to zero-emission buses, and I'm concerned that the requirement for zero-emission buses is being imposed with excessive harshness and cliff-edge characteristics upon the bus industry. So the first one, that is 47A, I beg your pardon, that is not the first one, forgive my reading, but I will talk about 47A first. 47A creates a form of exemption, a continuation that local transport authorities can put in place, particularly for rural services, and particularly in locations where battery-powered buses would be inappropriate because the distance that the rural service is running might be more than it could sustain. But generally also that it might be appropriate to continue in rural areas, some rural areas, with diesel buses or hybrid buses being run for a further period beyond the cut-off that the government envisages. I think that would be a relaxation of the requirement that would be welcomed in many parts of the country. 47 provides a similar consideration on a broader basis. Again, as I say, not being excessively harsh about all of this. And 48A requires the government to justify its policy on public health grounds by publishing data in relation to the sorts of improvements, particularly air quality improvements and noise pollution improvements, that it expects to achieve for the travelling public and for local people of the changes that they are envisaging in relation to net zero buses. So it would be helpful, I think, if the government could take an approach which was a little bit less ideological and more tailored to what might suit particular areas and particular populations. I beg to move.